All right. Hello, everybody. Sean Cushney back here with another stream. Um, Real quick, I don't know how long the stream's gonna be, but I plan on doing at least two reactions. So that's one reaction, two reaction, and I got a talking point that I want to share. And then, of course, we always end the segment with some gameplay. Um, I think I have Death Stranding 2 still in the tank. So let me look at my talking point option here before we get really started. Okay, so I know what the subject's gonna be. And let's get into the reaction video. So let me put the headphones on. Let me get everything situated. Get ready. First and foremost, I want to say, let's do it. Let's do like a YouTube intro. So, five, four, three, two. Yo, YouTube! It's your boy Sean Cushney back with another reaction video. Um, if you don't know about Peter McKinnon, then I think you've been hiding under a rock, especially if you're into photography, videography. If you know anything about early like 2012 to like 2015, like this man and Casey Neistat was like pretty much the goat of vlogging on YouTube. So he just put out a new video, and I'm definitely interested to see what he has to say. Let's get into that, y'all.
What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here. Welcome back to yet another video. Today, I'm going over my photos. My files just finished downloading from the lab, so I thought we would go through them at the same time together so that you could see them, what a full day shooting in New York looked like.
452, painful.
Yeah, this dude is the truth, yo. He's the truth.
Number one, number two.
All right, first time loading the X-Pan. Godspeed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't watched a Peter McKinnon video in so long, and it's still awesome to see that this man is still just as passionate about filming, photography, videography since the last time I saw him, because he was really inspirational in the beginning of me learning about photography. Like, this guy is from Canada, and just it's really sick how you can have like such um a niche like I can't think of the word right now, but his content is so niche into just photography, videography, his lighting, his setup overall, really really dope. And yeah, the fact that he came to New York, I wonder if he's gonna run into Casey Neistat since he went to New York. Let's find out. I'm real excited, real interested to see.
See you on the other side.
Okay, the mission today, New York City, there and back, same day, arrive at 8, leaving to come back home at 7 p.m. How many rolls can I finish? How much can I shoot? I'm going 8 in 8 hours. Easy.
I am sad to report that I only got, I think I finished 3 rolls, but let's see if the yield, how many pictures I got that are postable or good, in my opinion, and maybe there's more quality than quantity, which would be great. Starting with these first burned shots, the beginning of every film roll has a unique feature when you're shooting 35 mil. This burn is where the film emulsion starts on the negative. So instead of winding the camera until you get to 0 and then starting to shoot, I shoot the first photo like 3 or 4 times to make sure I got the burned roll. All that to say, here is Christian sitting in the sun. Straight off, I don't love that the pillar directly lines up with his head. I feel like that makes it hard to see his silhouette. If I had just positioned him in the middle of this glass pane, that would have immediately been a better photo. So In order to fix this, I'm going to have to lift the shadows so that you can see it's a person. It's not great. When you lift shadows with film, it's gonna suffer. It's gonna get more grainy. It's cool. It's a cool memory. I don't think I'd post it. Moving on. The thing with street photography, which is what this trip was and what I was going for, I'm presetting my film camera and using a technique called zone focus so that it effectively turns my camera into a point and shoot. So I know where my minimum focus distance is and my maximum focus. And I'm trying to place my subjects within that range. Starting with this, I think it's pretty cool.
I just definitely want to just share a little bit of insight about me. Like, I used to be really into photography, so to hear him talk about being doing street photography is real interesting because he was doing a little bit of everything. But the things that come to my mind when I think of Peter McKinnon, besides vlogging, is his outdoor content. You know, like he has a lot of good landscape thumbnails and stuff like that. So to think that he's diving into the world of street photography, which I think is really awesome, and he's using film on top of that. Film, I never really dabbled into film, but I definitely am interested in watching content creators that are in the space that deal with film and street photography for sure. Like when I was doing that type of stuff, like being doing street photography, not with film of course, but just street photography all together, I didn't think that I was going to give up the camera. I didn't think so.
Not super sharp. That's also kind of film. I like that she's like the only thing lit up. Very contrasty, more contrasty than I probably would have expected. I don't think I would do a whole lot to this. Star that one off. I like it. This is also cool. I think the shadows look great in here. Like I don't even need to do anything to this. I think that's cool. I think the light is probably why I thought that was neat. I remember just leaning over and shooting it super fast. Again, within my zone of focus. So look at this little guy. One thing I've learned when shooting on a 28mm focal length or shooting on a focal range at all that is wide is even if you've got your zone focus set or you're critically focusing, which means you're spending the time to actually line up your rangefinder patch and focus perfectly, with the 28, you're almost always further away than you expect. I felt like I was pretty close to this dog, but I obviously wasn't at all close to this dog. And for me, this frame, no good. He's too far. I don't know what I was doing. I was probably trying to shoot these guys eating in the truck. Don't love it. Moving on. Working with reflections. Reflections messy. Can't see it clear in the water. Don't love the reflections on the road. Moving on. This is better. Reflection in the water is cool. You can actually see the building across the street that it's reflecting, and you can't see that building in the frame anywhere else. So I think that's kind of neat. I'd probably brighten it just slightly. Maybe a bit of saturation because that sky looks nice. I love like the warmth of the building. That's it. I like that one. The yellow newspaper stand. That's cool. There's not much happening in this. I think shots look better when there's people doing things, when there's activity. If someone was leaning against it, smoking a cigarette, if someone was on the phone, two people were waiting, or someone was talking and a dog was peeing on the mailbox, or like something that tells more of a story. I feel like we've got half of a story here. Why are we looking at this? I don't know. Chinatown. So you can see here with zone focus, I missed whatever I had my camera preset to. And sometimes if you're not checking your camera and you bump it and you're out of your zone, it's very easy to just keep shooting. And then you look down and realize, oh, it's not where it should be. How many pictures did I just shoot that I thought were in focus? So it's a big learning curve.
He hasn't missed a beat. He hasn't missed a beat at all, man. He is still sharp on explaining what he's doing, explaining how to do it. Very intentional. Something that I inspire to get my reaction channel, all my channels to, very intentional. I want people to be able to come to my channel and know that I'm just not blowing smoke up your ass when I'm talking. What I'm saying is intentional and it's real. And that's what I get out of him explaining what he was looking for in those shots, why he was doing what he was doing. It's perfect. It's like a chef's kiss. I'm learning. It makes me want to pick up my camera again. I know I'm not going to, but it makes me want to.
Curve. It's really fun and it's really rewarding if you get it, but it's extremely disappointing if you don't. But I feel like that's the only way to learn, is to be let down. And this is me out here just trying to practice and work the muscle that is street photography, instincts, zone focus, knowing a camera so well. You do not have to look at it. It is just, it happens. You're only hunting for moments. And when you see them, you can react fast and capture life. So I think that's a fascinating part of photography. If you haven't tried it, I absolutely recommend it. It is so much fun. That was obviously a cool little Chinatown sign right there. Maybe I would add a vignette to this, maybe something like that. Obviously, I love the yellow, so maybe I'll come in here and make that a little brighter. It's okay. Like, I don't love it. Would I post this? No. This guy crossing the street, he's in the zone. He's in the zone, but he's focused, so that I like already. I like the mess. I like the mess of everything. It just looks very busy. The amount of fire escapes look great. Big fan. I think let's just keep going through these until I start editing them, because like, if I'm just sitting here editing 100 photos, this video is going to be like 2 hours long. This is cool. I think that car stands out quite a bit. But again, someone just leaning against it on the phone would have made it so much better. Someone getting out,
I think it's a cool
people
photo.
walking by,
I thought
anything at
the
all.
previous
I think just
photo
the
was
car
actually
sitting
cool
there,
too.
It's not an interesting enough of a car to make me like this photo. I remember having difficulty in Chinatown here because I was asking people to take their portraits and everyone kept saying no, which is fine. That's their right. I'm not a huge fan of just taking the photo anyway and then asking forgiveness. I don't know that I'd love if someone did that to me, so I tried to ask. I remember being pretty excited when this guy pulled up. It looked like a MotoGP rider, and when he took his helmet off, he was like an old guy, and I thought, that's sick. I went up to take a photo of him, and he's like, let me bring my friend in. I was like, I don't want a photo of your friend. I want a photo of you. So I was trying to adjust my focus. I just snapped it so they could hear the click, and then his friend pieced out, and then I took a picture of him with actual focus, which seemed to come out pretty sharp. Like that's pretty great for 35 mil. That's amazing. My legs are going numb. I think so far this is probably my favorite shot. He's happy, I'm happy, and his bike out there looked great too. So I could probably just paste that edit right over.
It's
He was,
sick.
what
It's
did he
sick.
say? He was like stopping for a quick espresso and then off to the track. And I was like, as you should be. My feet are numb, so I am adjusting. Okay, this one, someone went by and did like an endo on a bicycle, and there was another photographer sitting there, and he was like, "Can you do that again?" And the guy was like, "Sure." And I just loaded a roll. And I knew that I was like really close to the burned frame. So I just thought, oh man, if I can get a burnt frame of somebody doing an endo in front of this building with the burn, that'll be sick. And
there
that's
you go.
exactly what I got. That's like a
Exactly.
sniper shot. So
Yes,
very
it is.
stoked on that. I think that looks great.
Yes, it
I took
is.
so many of these just to make sure I would have one that I liked. And oftentimes if I'm in a spot that I know I've wanted to be at for a while, I'll shoot it as many times as I have to until I'm happy. Like I won't leave until I get something that I know is good. I think this could be cool. It needs to be a bit more grungy, but that detail in that building is wild. Shout out to my buddy Brandon, Current Spaces, that sent me over there. Central Park, dull, not feeling it. But yeah, I didn't love this. So I think we hopped in a car and went straight over to Dumbo. And this dude was washing a Porsche under the bridge. And I just thought, this is sick. This is someone doing something unique that I haven't seen before. And like, look at the sky back here for a second. So you've got detail in the clouds, which are still perfectly fluffy and visible. You've got detail in the shadows. Like, it is perfectly balanced. That's one of the reasons I love this so much. Like, that is just, I don't feel like a digital sensor can do that as well. Now, when I edit this, it's gonna be about protecting those highlights and protecting these shadows to make sure it's all still balanced nicely. But I just think like that is so cool. Is it the
It is.
greatest photo I've ever seen?
No.
But I do like that it's just life. It's a guy
That's
out
that's
here
like the,
doing his job.
to be honest, that's like the beauty. That's like the beauty of street photography. No lie. Like just capturing life. You know, and I was the type of person that wouldn't ask you for the photo. I would just be in the corner, or you know, however the moment is, however the moment is, I'm gonna try to find a way to capture it. So yeah.
Washing a Porsche under the bridge. That's cool. This couple here were hugging. I don't know if they were just like coming out of a restaurant, then they started making out in the street, which I thought was like, okay, that's a good photo. Like we got people, they're doing something. The sky behind was like pretty wild. It's a little underexposed, but I was zoned for the sun, so they are exposed properly. And then I got a little bit closer, and there's this one. I don't love the coolness of this. I'd probably want to add some vignettes so that it really draws your eyes to the middle, but I feel like that's a good moment. The fact that they're surrounded by people who are all just like, no one cares. Like this guy's just walking around like, excuse me. He also looks like he's in pain, like someone stepped on his foot. In a perfect world, I'd be like, can we do that again? Can you change your face? Okay, this guy, that's sick. That's cool. This dude ripped past on a wheelie, and I was preset with my zone, and I was metering as we were walking down the sidewalk because the light kept changing. So I was going from 250 up to a 500 to a 1000 and back and forth between those 3 speeds. This dude ripped by. I managed to get it. So like this to me is probably one of the best photos I've seen yet. Lower thirds, it's sharp. You can tell he's going fast. I feel like this will edit really nice. It's a little underexposed, but
it's cool.
I will mess with this one.
The guy on the bike was tough.
5. This was his buddy trailing behind. He was
The
not
Japanese
doing
or the
wheelies,
Chinatown
but I did manage to track him a
sign
little bit.
was
Look
tough.
at the difference just with a little bit
It
of
was
tracking.
tough.
Like, I'm talking like a foot of track or less, and you've got quite a bit of motion blur already. So had I done that with this frame, this shot would have been way better. So it's almost like I needed the mixture of these two. I need to drag this like twice as much, but do it on this shot and it would have been great. I like the gradient of this. I feel like I would crop this one probably quite heavily. That's I think what my mind was seeing when I took this photo. Something like that. Mess with the curves. Probably look good in black and white too. Okay, now at the same time, I had a roll going in my X-Pan. And this was my first time ever using it. So take a look at these. Like this is dope. And the shadows obviously on the ground of this shot are amazing. That looks great. I'm very, very happy with that. I could probably warm it up and even just like blow out the highlights a little more. That shot, super sick. This is cool.
Yep.
I mean, everything with one of these types of cameras, any type of panoramic camera looks super cool. And there is good light coming in here too from the left side. So you can make that a little bit brighter, drop that contrast, adjust this tone curve. Like that's cool. Black and white, everything looks good in black and white. This is great. I love the shadow of the Pegasus horse on the ground. I will fully admit, I did not see that when I took the picture. I was looking at all the cables running across the street and just like how small the street felt.
No, that's
the Pegasus
fire.
horse shadow on the ground is
That
like,
is
that's a
fire.
happy accident. I had no idea.
Yeah,
But I will
that's
take full
fire.
credit. Happy with that. This one I remember, this guy was getting his hair cut. I wanted to get closer, but I was too scared. I don't like this one. I don't think I would use this. You can't see the people in it unless I'm kind of probably telling you or you're playing Where's Waldo. Eye contact would have been way better. I think anytime someone's looking at you directly, I think that's a huge bonus. This is cool. Black and white, color, like that looks great. It's kind of abstract.
Yep.
I can do something with this for sure. That's
Yep.
another one that I like. If they were all yellow cabs, I think that would be cool. I feel like I'm conflicted for what I'm looking at. Am I looking at the cab or am I looking at the smoke? Like, where do you want me? And because it's unclear and there's no clear story, I'm not a fan. I
would use it.
I focus back here, not on the horse. The color right out of there, like this doesn't need anything. Like that's just straight scan from the lab. Like that looks great. And this was the guy driving it. Look how sharp that is. 35 mil. Look at that. That's insane. Yeah, this shot is awesome. That might be one of the best shots I've seen actually like so far. The only thing I don't love is this. I think that's what they use to smack the horses. I don't love that. That could come out of the shot. Yeah, that'll rip. That's one of my favorites. It's one of my top 5, I think. This might actually be the best angle of all the shots I took of this, just because the car is in motion, the building looks great, the wide format is super unique. This is a pretty cool one. This is cool because portraits with an X-Pan are rad. Obviously, I'm going for that ray of light on his face, but we're losing so much detail in the car itself. But maybe this one's better. But I like the light on his face here better. I'll come back to it. Star them both. This is cool. I don't mind that. This is kind of cool. Rooftop swim session. These shots of Christian in the street are pretty cool. I think I like this one the best. That sky is kind of dramatic behind him. I like that. Bam. I was trying to shoot these people across the street that were waiting to cross. This dude turned around at the right time and looked at me and did
Nice.
not look pleased with what he saw. But I love that he's looking at me. It's that kind of
Yeah.
eye contact that I was talking about earlier that I
Yeah.
think looks great in photos, especially in street photos. So I
Yes.
could definitely add some sauce to this. This
Yeah.
one I think is very cool. I really like this one. So I'll star that for sure. So these are my favorite shots from New York. Are they my favorite photos I've ever taken? No. I'm glad I took them.
No,
I
that's
struggled that
tight.
day.
That's
I
definitely
struggled
dope.
very
This
hard. I
is
wanted
dope.
to shoot 8+ rolls. I only
That's the-
did 3 and I
that's-
fought to get
that's
those
like the
3.
best.
I think sometimes you're feeling it, and even if you're feeling it, sometimes the streets just aren't giving it. But you're never going to get them, and you're never going to know if you're not out there trying to get them regardless.
Mm-hmm. That's tight.
It's about getting
He
in the
got-
reps,
he
going
got
on
it in.
camera, going back outside,
He got it
taking
in.
those things that
If
I've
he
learned
act like he didn't
and
get it
making
in, he's a
myself
liar. He got
better.
it in.
And that is what I find so fascinating with this craft, is that I can be shooting for over 20 years and still have the passion and yearning to improve and to go back out and try more and more to become one with my camera and chase those moments that I know are out there waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button if you haven't. What is even my thing? Hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.
Yeah.
Then there's a thing with the hat. There's a thing with the hat where you'd cover it. I gotta go stop this camera though. There's 4 things I gotta stop, and this is dying. Oh, my screen share.
Yeah. My guy hasn't changed. My guy hasn't changed at all. Shout out to Peter McKinnon, man. That's really sick video. Let me see if there's a. Look at that. Casey got another video. But we're going to try to find something. You know what? Should I am interested. It's a long. Oh, Instagram is killing. Oh, that's another Peter video. Okay. Let's see, 18 minutes. Hey, you know what? I think this is good. Like, let's see about this. Why is Gen Z so miserable?
I don't know how this video is going to come across to a lot of you guys. I look at my demographics, and a large portion of my subscriber base across all of my platforms, so TikTok, IG, YouTube 1 and 2, I guess I should say now, right? Because I have 2 freaking channels on here, which is insane. And I went to see this movie today. It was called It Ends. And it was like a very Gen Z movie. And a lot of Gen Z talking points were all throughout this. But it basically was
See, so I'm a little lost. I wonder what are Gen Z talking points and what makes it a Gen Z movie? See, so I need cliff notes on Gen Z. Hopefully he provides it for me in this video.
talking about in a very allegorical, symbolic way.
And I
about
definitely like how his setup
that
is
uneasiness,
the purple
of
and the green.
transitioning from young adulthood
Sick.
into like college age adulthood to graduating high school around that age, and how that existential crisis, and this was like that Gen Z version of that. And all I kept thinking, and I mean this in the most, like, I just have to say it. I know you guys, especially Gen Z, your generation, I don't say this in a bad way. I've made videos about this before, but I don't think it's your fault. I think that you lack a lot of things that the generations before you had. Mainly, you're overwhelmed at such a young age. Like, you grew up with the internet at a very young age. You know, I didn't get my first cell phone until I was in high school.
Okay.
I didn't really, we didn't have the internet like as much as you guys did. Even
Yeah, I didn't get my first cell phone until like I was in like the 7th grade.
though it was there, it wasn't like
Middle
now
school.
where everything that you had was at the tip of like your fingers, like your fingertips, tip of your fingers. It was at your fingertips. And I think that caused you, because you were overwhelmed at a young age, to comparison, to identity pressure, to like comparing yourself, performance, evaluation, anything to everyone. And there's a lot of articles that talk about Gen Zs like as you're one of the most miserable generations. I don't say that like as an opinion. I'm saying that just the consensus is that you are the first youth generation in a very long time that was just not happy overall. And I understand the things that you went through. A lot of you transitioned to adulthood during a time where your social skills were just your early adulthood, and that age was because of
Yo, I'm
people couldn't leave their
so
houses in
like
2020s. A lot of you
I'm so
graduated around that
interested.
time.
I'm
So,
like,
you know, they
what?
talk
For
about
real?
things
This
like
is how
Gen
they
Z
feel?
stare, and a lot of you get offended by it, and you start comparing yourselves. One of the biggest things that people do on social media, especially Gen Z, is you love to dunk on us millennials, and that's fine. I don't think the majority of us don't care. We kind of have this attitude that's just like, the hell did I do to you? And that's what it feels like, to be honest. But I don't think most of us are offended by it. But I just have to say this, like, you guys got to lighten up. I feel like your generation just doesn't have fun. Like, you're transitioning to adulthood movies. I just thought about this today. I was like, wow. They're like, yeah, no, this is like a Gen Z. You know what our adulthood transition movies were? Like American Pie, Can't Hardly Wait. Like, all these movies where all we did was like play beer pong and party.
You know
Do you
what?
guys party? I
Yeah.
already know that Gen Z doesn't drink compared to all the younger generation. I'm not saying no one does, but just like the early adulthood, Gen Z drinks less than every other generation before them, which is insane to think about. Do you guys have fun at all? And please, because I know all of the contention points. I've been on TikTok long enough to hear them. Oh, well, you didn't go through all the things that. Yes, we did. When most of us were transitioning into early adulthood or transitioning from college to adulthood, I graduated college at a time we went through the biggest economic crisis in the history of our country, including the Great Depression. Remember that bailout that happened in the late 2000s? Yeah, that's when I entered the workforce. It sucked. We were all broke as hell. You know what the funny part was, though? And this is where I just like think the difference in generations really happens. You guys are broke, just like we were. I couldn't afford shit in college. I couldn't afford anything. But the thing that we did about it is we used to joke about how broke we were. It was like funny to us. Because we didn't have that comparison that you guys have. We didn't have other people that were peers to us that were rich. Like, unless you were on TV or in movies and you were at our age, you didn't have money either. So no one cared. But now you've got people that are influencers.
Okay.
You got people that are just like internet personalities, self-made. You got all these financial fake-ass gurus online. You got 40-year-old alpha males telling you how to think and how you should get women. You've got all of these other things that are just being force-fed to you that it just makes you so overwhelmed. And I think that comparison is what causes your misery more than anything. Comparison is a thief of joy. It is something that has been said for a very long time as discourse. This isn't like our generation.
Yo, that's a bar right there. Comparisons is the thief of joy. Man, that's a bar. Cause that's one thing that we all struggle with. Doesn't matter what age group you are. With social media, it just enhanced it. Like, we always compared ourselves to one and another. Doesn't matter if you have a brother or a sister or your cousins, uncle, aunt, mom, dad, best friend, rival, teams. You're always comparing. You always will. You have to have like a really strong mind to like not play that game, if that makes sense, but not everybody's built that way. And sometimes you have to bump your head a couple times to kind of realize that that's not the game that you should be playing, or you up the difficulty and you play a different game.
But I just don't think you guys did you ever have a time in your life where you just like didn't really care and just had fun? Because you need that. And I think that's where you guys have kind of gone wrong. I know that your social stuff, because of things that happened outside of it, we at least had each other, and we loved to say, oh, well, that's why we went out and there wasn't a cell phone in sight. But I think that was very important. I just pulled this up right now, and it's kind of funny because I wanted to say, okay, I need something tangible here before people start making contentions that recent data in global studies, including findings highlighted in the World Happiness Report, shows that Gen Z reports lower life satisfaction and well-being than older generations, reversing historical patterns where youth was typically the happiest demographic. Now, I'm saying this because, again, do you know what happened in 2001? I mean, I know you guys saw it on like highlights and stuff. Like, I lived through that. And that was a scary time. It really was.
I mean,
We still
I just want to say, yes, I agree. I was in school. There was a big TV hanging from the ceiling that they've turned it on, and we watched it. Watched everything live.
like found ways to laugh about it. There were people that were in high school at that time. There were people that were in grade school, middle school, you name it. And I grew up, and you've seen it probably. I just had a recent video where I'm reviewing a local restaurant and I'm sitting in a parking lot and I'm looking at New York City. I drive, see it in plain sight every single day. I can see the Freedom Tower when I drive down the street. Like it's right there. That's how close I am to it. And I grew up in this area. So that's how close I was to it. And even though that day was scary, we still found ways to laugh and like joke. I feel like you guys don't really joke anymore. I feel like you guys are always mad and angry and finding new things to fixate on and compare to. And I think that's what causes it. But look at this stuff, and I feel like I hit it all in the head. I had to just throw it on there again. Key drivers of Gen Z discontent: high cost of living, soaring house prices, structural difficulty achieving traditional milestones like home ownership, create chronic financial stress. Again, I only have my generation because that's the one I'm a part of. So I'm not going to start comparing and contrasting. But let's talk about this. High cost of living. It's definitely higher now than it ever has been.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Commensurate to what it was and people made back then, I think it is. House prices, we went through an economic crash where people didn't make anything. Home ownership, most millennials are just getting houses right now. Most, not all, but a lot of millennials are just getting houses and getting married now. We, as our generation, got duped by all of our, what would you call them, superiors, people that were in charge of our livelihoods, guidance counselors, whatever. They told us all in droves to go to college. So the majority of people that are in my age bracket are still paying off. I just talked to somebody yesterday, technically speaking, it's 3 a.m. I just talked to somebody yesterday. They are $28,000 in student debt, and that's only one loan. The other one, what their parents took out, and they're trying to help pay that off. And I think that one is another like $36,000, $60,000 a loan. The person that I talked to is in their mid 30s.
Yep.
Still paying them off.
That's about right.
I get
That's
it.
about
Like,
right.
We ain't rich just like y'all. But here's another one. Digital overwhelm. I just said that too. Growing up online exposes young adults to nonsense. Damn, that's exactly what I said. Did I read this somewhere? It doesn't matter. Either way, I do agree with that. And I think that's a big problem that you guys had. And then finally, this loss of purpose in local community, fewer. I didn't talk about this, but I agree with that one too. And I think that's how you end up falling for all these grifters and all of this other stuff. Like I said, a lot of these people that are
What are grifters?
I don't like saying these people's names because I don't think they deserve platforms. Some of these people that are grifting off of your insecurities. It's my genuine opinion. I think that they're more dangerous than a lot of people realize. And
Yeah. What is a grifter?
2 of them are in jail awaiting extradition right now. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. If you want to write in the comments, I know you're going to say, I refuse to say those people's names. So many people are so staunchly defensive. There are people right now doing push-ups outside of that building because they're like freedom. I don't understand why. Like, even if you do agree with it, like the legal process should play out the way it plays out. They're not being unfairly targeted when they openly admitted to saying and doing half of this stuff. They're a prime example of what I'm talking about because the majority of people who prescribe or subscribe to their crap are not my age, they're your age. And you think, oh, well, they're teaching us all this stuff. These guys literally were selling webcam to people and telling you not to watch it, but somehow they were watching it. And the majority of those podcasts that do those sorts of things also have those people who participate in that webcam culture, you know, where you're fans of them, if you catch what I'm saying. They're smack dab on there. And they're like, don't watch their videos. If this is her right here, dressed like this. See her? Don't watch it, though. This is her by the way. We're going to put it in the description. It's always been contradictory, which I always found incredible. And people are just looking for some sense of community. And that's how you end up finding all of these people who just agree with you about everything. And instead of having discourse like we used to, even politics now, and I'm not getting into too much, political discourse doesn't exist anymore. It's now, I'm on this side, you're on this side, we don't really talk. And it's because they've gone so far one way or the other. There's no more moderates within these things that people can't even have a common ground to talk to. But I said this in another video. People treat things like it's SEC football now. I pick this side, you pick this side. Everything over there wrong, everything on this side is right. And because of that, I don't think people learned how to think because you don't have social interactions. You don't have peers. We used to have like, oh, if your friends jumped off a bridge, you guys don't even have that anymore because you spend half the time talking to people like online and stuff. You have to do that.
Yeah, see, like I'm glad he's going on the rant right now, because on my other channel, See Sean Yapping, I have a video on there saying that communication is a dying art. And he just made me like easily think of that. Like, you guys, yeah, like I put it to you like this. I had a really, really, really popular job at a warehouse, right? And well, let me rephrase that. Let's say I worked for a very popular company in at a warehouse, and I was the manager there. And let's say like one of my peers was a manager as well, but he was like 24, 20, he was in his early 20s. And one of the biggest complaints was that he didn't know how to interact with people socially. He was just very awkward. And I'm in my 30s being at this place. So um it got to the point, it got so bad for him that it got to the point where the associates would say to me and to other people that he was you could tell he went to college during COVID. Like that was the insult, because he couldn't just engage in a manner like. But at the same time, he had a very nasty like personality, and I don't know if it's because he grew where he grew up at, but his demeanor and his communication skills was so bad. Luckily, he was able to do his job, though. I'll give him that. But yeah, communication is a dying art for sure.
So it just stunted your growth, but you don't feel like you're a part of anything. And when they say local community, again, this is the key word here, local community. The problem is you don't have proximity to anybody. All of your friends are like thousands of miles away. So instead of having to go out and make friends like we did, you just find somebody that agrees with you and everybody else sucks. So that's what's happened. Fewer shared offline rituals and difficulty feeling that daily work or school has meaningful personal value, because you're comparing yourself to everybody else. And then the last one I already said, but yeah, the disruption of what happened in 2020. I do think that. But why am I saying all this? It isn't to dunk on Gen Z. It really isn't. It's to remind you that like you only get to do this whole thing once, this thing called life. There are no do-overs with this stuff. And I'm constantly talking about it. I made a video talking about if you're going to quit, watch this or anything. But I think that you guys are really just missing the point of this. If you can't attempt to find enjoyment because you're always constantly comparing yourself to everyone else and constantly just letting people tell you what to do. Notice, I have not once told you what you shouldn't do. I said you have to find your own way. You have to find your own happiness. The way you're going about it by doom scrolling and just listening to people give think tanks and everybody has I went on TikTok the other day, bro, and it just the majority of people, and again, the most of these people that are doing this, they're all in their 20s at this point. Like they're all Gen Z, and you guys are just complaining about everything. And I'm not saying there ain't anything to complain about. Of course there is.
Always.
The world sucks. It's always sucked. What could you imagine if like TikTok was around during like the Black Plague? They'd be like, oh, there's rats everywhere. And you know what I can't stand is I can't stand the king. London has no sewage systems. Like, there's always stuff. There's always going to be stuff. Every generation has had things that have sucked during their. You can go all the way back. You want to go back to like the silent generation? Where do you want to start here? The baby boomers were really the only generation, and even they had counterculture, Kent State. What happened there? Sound like Tony Soprano. Whatever happened there? You get what I'm saying. There's always something. And millennials, I just said a bunch of them. Again, 2001 sucked. And a lot of my friends and older brothers and people like that, after 2001, they went around areas with caves and sand and you name it. And they came back messed up. This has always been a thing. There's always going to be a thing. Your whole point in this world is to find your purpose, but you're not going to do it by staring out of a window like a dog. Why am I saying like a dog? I'm not saying this. I keep saying the same thing because y'all are way too damn sensitive. Y'all get mad about everything, and there's stuff to get mad about. But sometimes y'all just be trying to find stuff, and it's a little ridiculous at this point. But What I mean by that is your world is this for you. And
Got the
I'm sure a
blinders
lot of you
on.
have dogs or have been around a dog. Have you ever seen a dog that stares out the window? They just spend all day barking at everything that comes past the window. They don't realize that, like, there's a lot more to the world than that freaking window. And that's all they see is the
Mm.
mailman come past and they bark at that mailman. And that's their
Mhm.
whole life revolves around, is just staring
Mm.
out the window and barking at shit that comes past them.
Mm.
Touch grass. Get out there. Do things. And every time I talk about these things, there's always some of you that just still don't get what I'm trying to say. And you're like, yeah, but yeah,
It doesn't seem like there's a but in
you're
there.
going to be miserable forever if you don't actually figure out that, like, this is the way that things will always be and that you have to find your happiness from you.
Yeah.
That could be anything, but until you find your groove, you're going to constantly be in this cycle of perpetual just self-wallowing.
Mhm.
That movie today I watched was just like, is this really how Gen Z thinks? Everything was just like, it's not, you guys say it's not that deep, but then, like, you get mad at, like, everything, anything. I can't watch
Okay,
a single
so
video
we
on
see
TikTok or
I'm seeing the
YouTube that doesn't
concept
have
now.
somebody in that age bracket that's just, like, mad about something within that video. Sometimes you can't take, it's just crazy.
Mhm.
I made a comment about my fries having acne, and somebody that had acne got mad that I said that the fries had acne on it because they had, like, little bubbles and stuff on it.
Hmm.
Describe Gen Z in a sentence.
Oh.
I'm not trying to say, oh, millennials, we had Eminem, and back then people are too soft. I don't think people are too soft. I think that your brain matter is just compared to other generations before you, and it's not your fault. So just understand that. I'm not saying it's really not your fault. You don't know anything else. You don't realize what the world was like before this. There's always been stuff, bro.
Mhm.
You ever see what New York City looked like in the 80s? My parents grew up in the 80s. You ever see what New York City looked like in the 80s? What
Photography.
it's crack everywhere. Like, y'all don't understand. Bro, somehow we still kicking. I'm just telling y'all, it's always going to be something. It's next day. Even though we're in a time right now where the economy is ass. It was also ass when I was getting out of college too. It was
Mm.
ass. We're in another time, and yes, this is different.
Mm.
Stock market crash in 1927 was different, and so was the one in 1987. They're different. Stuff's always going
hitting
to
us
happen.
with
There's
history.
always going to be a new thing. There's going to be something.
Yep.
I'm just telling y'all.
Yep.
Big picture. Stop being so damn miserable. Laugh. You need an American Pie. Y'all need something like that.
Yeah,
Do y'all
they
have a
don't-
generation's version of American?
I think it would probably be Project X for them. Project X would be, but American Pie was hilarious. I have like I guess was it American Pie 2 or something like that? It was uncut. Yeah, Stifler's mom, the Shermanator, all that. Yeah, that was popping.
American Pie? Like, Gen X had Dazed and Confused. What do y'all have? Y'all need to laugh, bro. Y'all don't laugh. Y'all don't have, there's like no comedy. I don't understand. It's just crazy, bro. And I feel bad. I'm sorry, Gen Z. Oh, the last thing, which drives me absolutely bonkers. I'm actually going to type this in. I don't know why people think this. Every time that we say stuff like this, or millennials say stuff, you're like, oh, well, we should blame the people that raised us. That was millennials. Are you guys fucking stupid? Why can't you just look things up? Most members of Gen Z have parents who belong to Gen X. Your parents are not millennials. Millennials are the parents, of the most part. There are exceptions. Actually, my parents are, for the most part. Do you see what this word says? Because this is what, look, most members of Gen Z have parents who belong to Gen X. Some of your parents are millennials, for sure. And guess what? There are some Gen Zers who have boomer parents. Generation X is the primary and overwhelming parental demographic for the majority of Gen Z.
Mm.
Yes, there are some millennials that are parents to Gen Z kids. For the most part, millennials are parents to Gen Alpha. Just like millennials, most of our parents are boomers. There are some millennials with Gen X parents. My parents are Gen X, even though I'm a millennial, because they had me young. Get what I'm saying? So I don't know why y'all keep blaming us. Y'all blame millennials for everything, and half the time y'all don't even realize it. Like, y'all don't even realize Gen X exists. Every time people talk about generations, it always goes from boomers to millennials. Like Gen X, they're doing stuff too.
Mm.
They just, I get why Gen X does that though, because they just want to be left alone. I don't blame y'all. But anyway, I just want to talk about this, man. This was like
This is a
giant
great
burger of
this is a
nothing.
great
Like,
topic.
I just need
This is
y'all
a
to
great
realize,
topic.
like, You got to lighten up a little bit. I'm not saying there's things not to be sad about. But some of
Yeah.
y'all just be getting mad at everything
Yeah. Yeah.
just because
That's a
some guy
great
on
topic.
TikTok told you you're supposed to be mad about it. No outro on this channel.
No, this was a great topic. More King Swartz. Okay. Yeah. The job market is a joke. Complete joke. I believe you. I believe you. But let's see. We are going to now do another YouTube intro for the talking point that I want to do. This is going to be for C. Sean Yapping. Let me get that out the way. Okay. Let's see. All right. So 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, YouTube. Sean Cushney here, back with another video for C. Sean Yapping. Title of this video is going to be Being the Underdog. And, let's start off with talking about being the underdog. There's a lot of different obstacles that you're going to have to overcome when you're the underdog. And I think being the underdog could definitely help you build that tough skin, that you may need to succeed. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be people and there's going to be situations that's going to try to stop you from succeeding. And I want to share a story with you about being the underdog. Now, for me, growing up, I grew up in the suburbs, and there wasn't too many African Americans in my elementary school, middle school, and high school. I grew up in some people might say it's upstate New York, but now where I currently live, I live in Albany, New York, and that's real upstate New York. But I lived in an area where it was majority white people, and I considered myself to be an underdog. Number one, when in elementary school, I was in a special ed program, and I would I would be in regular classes, and then at the same time, I would go back into the special ed classes, and I dabbled for a while in elementary school. Now, in my head, I'm thinking like I'm the like now I can articulate saying that I'm an underdog because I know I can do this work. Why are you taking me out of this classroom? I know I can do this math problem. Why are you taking me out of this classroom? I know I can handle this science uh assignment. Why are you taking me out of this classroom? Why are you doing this to me? And it really didn't come into fruition until I was in middle school, where the only special ed class I was in was either English, spelling, reading, something like that. So I knew I had a problem there. And but the other side of that too is that, like, who do I go to relate with? Who do I have those tough conversations with? Because I didn't get my first black teacher or professor, however you want to look at it, until I was like 22 years old. I was in college. So like there's no like guidance counselor, principal, teacher, like no teacher of that was African American. None, which is crazy. So you can have that. For me, I had that underdog feeling, like, you teachers just don't understand my perspective. Um and there's a lot of people that just kind of that they kind of don't understand the African American struggle. Just like, for an example, you have like I grew up in the suburbs, so I have parents that have decent cars. My father growing up, he had like a coupe, a Honda. It's like either a Honda Accord or a Honda Civic coupe at the time, but it was really nice. It was like a forest green. He had cream leather seat, sunroof, stuff like that. And he when he was younger, he was in the military. And after he got done with the military, he wound up working for the VA hospital as a janitor, and he had a paying job. But driving around in that vehicle in the suburbs that we grew up in, or at least that I grew up in, he was always targeted, always getting pulled over, and then let's just fast forward to being an adult, or being, I won't even fast forward that far. Let's say when I was in high school, I wind up going to a party in this town. I'm a shout out to town. It was called Pine Bush, New York. Pine Bush, New York. And this particular party, there was these twin girls that were throwing, somebody was throwing them a party. And long story short, uh this girl was getting ready to cut her birthday cake, and this African American kid got pushed into her by somebody, and she dropped the cake. She dropped the cake, and once she dropped the cake, all hell broke loose, and it wound up becoming black versus white in Pine Bush at this party. And like, obviously we're the underdogs here. Like, we got ran out of this party. Like, mind you, we're in high school, we're teenagers. You're gonna run us out of this? Where we're gonna go? What do we do? Like, and it was by accident. It's not like like, what do we gain from like knocking over this girl's birthday cake? What do we gain for that? I remember even to the point where um at the time I did not have my license. I hung around a lot of older people, and this person had, like, it was like a small, like, bat, and he thought I was gonna steal his truck, so he's trying to wave his bat my direction and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I don't even have a license. Why would I want your truck? And then I know I came with this older person, and he was scared. So it's like, you're scared, and I got to sit here and kind of like defend you. You're, like, things, even though this is more, it turned into more of like a racial type of underdog. But for me, sharing my story about being the underdog, like, I overcame so much. Like I said, like, being that student in school, and graduating high school. I know I shared in a previous video that I didn't think much of myself when I was in middle school, when I was in middle school and high school, and I still graduated, got my diploma, and went to college, got my bachelor's degree in business administration. So I changed myself, and I allowed myself, uh, I gave myself grace. I allowed myself to be honest and say, hey, I need help. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out here that just don't have it in them to say they need help. And when you're an underdog, like, I believe that you can ask for help, because people already are looking down. People are already trying to count you out. So why not help? It'd be a different story if you're already on top. If you're on top of the pyramid, who are you looking up to give you guidance and help? There's nobody that's going to be able to do that. You have to look down. If you're at the top of the pyramid, you have to look down, and that doesn't help you, right? So, but if you're at the bottom and you can look up, you can ask, you can use it as a ladder to get to the top, secretly. On that note too, secretly, you don't have to have everybody in your business and your plans you know, especially if you have friends, like if you, and you don't need like a bunch of friends, you just need a handful of friends. That's what you really need, a handful of friends to make, you know, smart, cool decisions. And I really believe on that note, like, if you consider yourself like to be the underdog, like, just don't give up. Don't give up, because you don't know who's paying attention to you. You never know. You know, there was a time in my life where I was in college, and where I graduated from, where I got my bachelor's degree, where there was a time where I would walk around with a camera, and I would just record myself, because at that time I believed that I would been able to, like, just created like an internet business, and I was using YouTube at that time to, you know, document myself being in school, what I was doing and everything in that nature, just building content. Yeah. And I didn't understand that people were paying attention to me. Like, they were inspiring or aspiring rappers, uh, uh just other entrepreneurs at this school. Is because it was a kind of a small school. And you know, some people asked me questions, some people followed me on different social media platforms that I was using. And I noticed when I kind of gave up those dreams at the time, like, you know, life was lifing, and I gave up those dreams, that I noticed that those other people didn't give up. And certain people are now 100K subscribers on YouTube, when I was the one that had 100 followers or 100 subscribers on YouTube, and they had like 5. So you never know, when if you're the underdog, you never know who's paying attention to you, who's learning from you, who can grow from, and like, the information that you have, you can share it, and it can go a long way. You know, like, I'm not telling you that you need to stay in this status of being an underdog, but don't count yourself short. Don't count yourself out, because as long as you keep working towards whatever you're working towards, success is right around the corner. I guarantee you, success is right around the corner. And on that note, I want to end this video. So, once again, my name is Sean Cushney, and this is C. Sean Yapping, and I'm out. Peace. So, now that I got that out the way, I think I'm going to take a second to answer a text message, and then I'm going to, um, let's see. Then I'm going to play the game for a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. And I want to also say to you guys, thank you for liking and supporting my TikTok. My TikTok is my last name, Cushney, Cushnie, Sean, Shawn. I'm trying to get to 50 followers so I can start live streaming when I do this on TikTok as well. I think you guys would enjoy the virtual or virtual the vertical, excuse me, the vertical um settings on TikTok a little bit more. And I have so much games to play, and stuff to give you, that we will have a lot of fun. So I want to say thank you to the people that currently following me on TikTok, people that are interacting with me on TikTok. I appreciate it. And I'm thinking about creating a Twitter. I'm thinking about creating a Twitter, y'all. So when you know, who knows? I might get there sooner than later, um, but yeah. All right, so we are an hour in, and I'm pretty much just loading up the game. I can actually go to the screen here because the music for this game is so intense. So yeah, dude, this game is awesome. I want to apologize too because the last time I played the game, I was going through some connection issues. I was dropping frames. I don't know if I was dropping frames because of the connection that I had in my house, or is it because I wind up changing some YouTube settings because I dual stream on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm looking to get to 50 followers so I could dual stream on Twitch as well. So that's the big goal. Is to be able to dual stream on all three of those platforms. One more time for that. But yes. The last time I played the game, it was lagging. Or no, it wasn't lagging. It was skipping frames, and it wound up being really cool. I still post it. The stream is still live on Sean Cushnie Games. So that's ShawnCushnieGame. Sean Cushnie Game on YouTube. You can find all of my gaming content there. I just got done doing a yapping segment. See Sean yapping, and of course we started off the stream with 2 reaction videos, and you can find that at Sean Cushnie Reacts. All of the links are in the description on Twitch and of course YouTube. So let's get into Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Let's continue. The music for this game is incredible. I don't know what I got to do, but we're gonna continue. Let's talk to the doll man. See what he has to say to me. He might give me some valuable information.
Is that Horizon Dreamer I spy in your music collection? That's one of Daiichi Miura's best songs. I'd love to hear it again, to listen and remember my family. Tomorrow, a mysterious young woman from the world of the dead. I hope she makes a swift recovery.
Alright, yeah, so there was a chick that we found. Definitely believed her name. I guess they named her Tomorrow or something like that. We got a new suit, I believe. Yeah. Just gonna do that. Why not? Oh. Let's see what this is. It's a little chilly. It definitely rained a little bit and now it's chilly. Patches. Got a PlayStation patch. That's it. I don't want anything like that. We're gonna go to the surface. And I think I got sidetracked, so I believe we found this girl. I'm not sure. I forgot because of the stills.
Before I forget, Sam.
Yep.
It seems you left some cargo behind outside the Northern Environmental Observatory. Where the tar bubble before we were whisked away to the other side. You remember all that excitement, yes? Anyway, Harman was kind enough to collect your cargo for us. It's been placed in your private locker aboard the DHV Magellan.
Nice. No. No. What the Okay. I'm about to say, like, what's going on?
We've received an urgent request from the Northern Environmental Observatory. Brigands to the west of the facility have got their hands on a large stockpile of weapons and have taken it back to their base. This happened shortly after the recent Tarfall abated. The surrounding area was littered with a massive quantity of cargo that had been washed up by the tar. The brigands wasted no time gathering up everything they could and hauling it back to their encampment.
So I
This
guess we
included
gotta go over
weapons
there.
and gear unlike any we've seen before. And now we've begun observing new brigand units in the field. These ones are wearing red, reinforced armor, accented with luminescent light strips. As their unique appearance suggests, they're more resistant to damage. Melee and electrical attacks are especially ineffective against them. These units have clearly been outfitted for close quarters combat, and their sudden deployment is troubling to say the least. Their presence likely indicates that the brigands are gearing up for a raid of some sort. If we ignore this development, the brigands could use their new toys to attack the observatory, and there's no telling what might happen then. So we need to seize all of them before they have a chance to do so. Moreover, the latest data from the observatory strongly suggests an explosion of some sort occurred just beneath the Earth's surface not long ago. APAS analyzed the shockwave and has concluded that it is consistent with the type produced by ground-penetrating ordnance. This leads us to believe that the cargo the brigands secured may have included powerful explosive material. Directly assaulting the brigands using firearms risks triggering these devices, and we cannot predict how that would affect the region. Any sort of catastrophic explosion may also have an adverse impact on the tar currents. It is therefore critical that you avoid combat and secure the cargo without alerting them if possible.
Oh,
I
wow.
implore you to take on this main order, Sam. And soon.
Alright. Well, that's... You basically just set me up. Okay. So... Is this already on me? Equipped, yeah. Sorry, this is already on me. So. So we don't even need this. Where can, remove? Oh, what the heck? No. Okay. Recycle. How many? Does it let me know how many I can do? Is that the case? I'll just grab the last one. No, so I can't put it there. I see. But in that case, then what I can do is take this one that's already been used, recycle it, grab the last one. Now it's all refreshed. So I'm gonna do this mission. Primary uses fires. That's it? Okay. Okay. So probably be best sticky. Is this like it's a cloud anti? Okay. Yep, makes sense to me. Makes sense to me that we're gonna go to the backpack, but I also want to. Yes. Yep.
My name's Sam.
We'll take good care of the teaching agenda.
Got a path?
See, so my thing is that this is probably gonna bring me over. Yep. Yep. Am I? Let's see. Zoom.
Nice and easy.
Right.
But you don't want me to start any stuff. This is what I need to get.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so well, really? They're making this one real easy. Real easy, real easy.
Someone's out there.
Well, I can tell you that I believe he said that to not to fight them. So I'm trying my best not to cause any issues. But I think it makes noise. Yeah, see, it makes noise, so not the best weapon. Well, that first one didn't work. Well, I'm still trying not to be noticed. I don't need the extra attention. Well, got him. Well, let's see. Let's see. Well, I gotta try to be as stealth as possible here. So you see me kind of taking my time, seeing what I can and cannot get away with. So I know that the person is coming back, so I'll be able to hit them. We don't need the extra lag now. I feel like just shooting. I totally didn't follow any rules here. this place has a lot of resources. So in this game, you need a lot of material. Like you need metal, you need like it says, just chemicals. You need a bunch of stuff to build things, like the bridge that's over there, the charging station that's over there, the watchtower that's over there, the vehicles that I'm running back to collect as much stuff as I can.
Okay, here you go, Speed Demon.
You need a bunch of stuff, and the more that you can run and take over these little hideaway, these little campsites, the more items you'll be able to attain. And that's your big goal. In reality, they're not gonna tell you it the way that I just said it, but that's how you want to play this game, because you want to make it easy for yourself to travel. And now that the space has been neutralized, I can go back over there peacefully and take as much crap as I can. So I got this on my back. We're gonna put that in the carrier. And the other thing with this with this new game, their nighttime is way more interactive than the previous.
Almost there. Okay.
Come on. That's it. Let's make this more friendly. So this is going, this is going, this is going, this is going. I just want to make sure. I'm like, wait a second. There's more than that? But no. Yeah, see, I still got so much more room. It's not even a game here. I still got so much room. Still. Empty. And I also Yeah, we're speaking the same language. Oh. Shit. It wasn't smooth. Shit.
Gotta stretch my legs. Yeah.
And ceramic. Yo, that's insane.
Did you really go out and steal all that stuff from the brigands? Way to go, Sam. Let me get started on processing your haul. I can't find a single scratch on any of this stuff. You truly are one of a kind.
I thought I must have ruined something else then. Which still isn't good.
If you ever wanna fuck, please.
Wow. Let me just.
You have accomplished so much, done things only you could have done. We want you to have this data as thanks.
It's great. I don't mind taking your data. Thank you. Right? That's what I should say, right? Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have this data.
We've increased your allocation of materials. Our way of saying thanks.
Uh-huh. So now don't care.
The guidepost data we just shared with you is great for making landmarks to prevent people from getting lost, even at night. And when you do place them, you'll find they're useful not only for getting your bearings, but also for creating routes that will facilitate travel for everyone. Aside from that, we've also made it so you can now use your PCC to fabricate bridges up to 80 meters in length. The rivers ahead of you are prone to flooding, so I imagine extra long bridges will be especially handy. Oh, and Sam, there's actually one other thing I wanted to talk about. Call it a little insight into the cargo you recovered on our behalf. It included a device I believe you guys have taken to calling a chiral jammer. These jammers are capable of disrupting the flow of local tar currents. In addition, you also recovered some explosives modded to be able to penetrate the ground and detonate within the tar. This would destabilize the currents over a large area. Needless to say, both these items could have been used to deliver an enormous blow to the chiral network. In other words, we've really dodged a bullet. But what I'd like to know is why this tech wound up in their hands in the first place. Can't chalk it up to pure chance. Honestly, it's almost like those brigands knew in advance that the tar was hiding cargo. We've got to consider the possibility that someone gave them a heads up. Food for thought on the road ahead.
Guess so.
Excellent work, Sam. You'll be happy to hear that tomorrow's regained consciousness. Once you're back on board the DHV Magellan, you should see for yourself.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so
Well done.
yeah, all this. So we're going to, let's see, recycle, increase. No. No. I don't want to. I want retrieve. I want. Yep, put it on my back. I'm gonna get this bridge together. Let's just get this. Do what we gotta do here to get this bridge started. Ooh, really? Alright, made a bad decision. Wow, okay.
Relax.
Wow. Okay. Ah, yeah.
Floating carriers can be loaded with cargo once deployed in the field.
Well, I knew that already, but thank you. We're not trying to do that. What we're trying to do is put everything away. Almost at the 2-hour mark. Let's see what's about to happen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Stop it. Stop it.
Someone doesn't like shoes. She won't even touch me.
Just got more famous people to be in this game.
But
more famous
her
actors
to take a shower.
and actresses.
No, tomorrow. We don't do that.
Still got the Asian woman pregnant. She's still pregnant.
Seems like a real handful.
She just needs some time to settle.
You must be tired, Sam. Get some rest.
All right. Got that boy Lou. There. Oh, look like we about to have a. It looked like we about to have a bad dream. Oh. Let's take a shower.
Sam, it's Charlie. Be advised that we have a new assignment waiting for you. I'll need to brief you on upcoming objectives as well. Access the delivery terminal at the Northern Environmental Observatory to take on this main order.
Okay, so after all that, we're still gonna shower. We're gonna shower and all that shit first. Wow. Let's see what he has to say.
Tomorrow seemed to react negatively to overstimulation. This is likely just a defensive mechanism, so to speak. A way to safeguard her mind from the strange and unfamiliar. At times like these, it's best to limit the number of people attempting to help the distressed individual. So let's trust in Rainy and Fragile to take care of her.
I don't really care. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't care. Who cares? Who actually cares about this new character? I don't. I don't care. Man, I am actually ready to turn this off because I'm falling asleep here. I'm old, so there's no sense of me trying to sit here and drag this out. So thank you so much, future watchers. You know, if you never played Death Stranding, I recommend that you do so because it is an amazing game. And then you play Death Stranding 2 on the beach because it's just as amazing as the first one. My name is Sean Cushney. I appreciate you being here. You can watch this recap on my gaming channel, which is Sean Cushney Game, ShawnCushniegame. I appreciate you being here once again. Thank you for participating. And we are out.